this racetrack in No Limits, Texas. We're getting ready for qualifying for Monster Energy Cup Series. And prior to the cars taking on the clock and the racetrack, let's bring in the fastest man on our team. And that would be Otto Bolden. Otto, how are things going?
I'm good. Is that really saying a lot, though? Fastest guy on this team? Anyway, so I'm down here at chassis inspection. The last time when I came to you from Charlotte, the number 20 Camry of Matt Kenseth was sporting a completely different look. This week, of course, these are exciting times for us here at NBC because we are getting ready for just being under 100 days until the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games. And on your screen now, you see the painstaking day-long process of transforming that car from the Tide Pods outfit to what it will wear this week, and that is Team USA number 20. Sorry, new look for the number 20 car.
I like that, Otto.
It's very, very nice.
Well, every time you hear that music, Otto, I'm guessing that you feel like you're definitely going to be speaking because you cover the Olympics so much now?
Yeah, and I'm fortunate enough to do Winter and Summer Olympic Games, so a big thrill for everybody involved in the Olympic Games.
We're looking forward to that, and thanks for, again, joining our team, giving us a little different perspective as we see Dale Earnhardt Jr. waiting to climb in to his car. Quite a few drivers are hanging out as we get ready for this qualifying session. Parker.
Well, Rick, I found a driver that is hanging out. He's pretty cool to hang out with. Clint Boyer here. Finished third last weekend. Pretty good run for you guys. That get some momentum going here. You're 21st in practice. What are you expecting in this qualifying session?
We've really had fast cars for about the last month. We've just been plagued with, bad luck. Some of that was our doings. Had some trouble on pit road. Kind of got you behind, dig yourself out. Everybody knows that story. Usually doesn't end very well, and it didn't. But breath of fresh air to get a good run last week at Martinsville, one of my favorite tracks that we go to. Texas, man. It's so much fun to come down here. Rush Truck Centers, Rusty and all his bunches here, fresh off their Houston Astros win. So he's pumped up and expecting big things out of us. And it's all about qualifying right now. It's all about using this foot.
That's your right foot.
And not so much this foot.
That's really technical analysis. Thank you for that. How much do you want to use the right foot more than the left foot?
None, actually. Your brain does not want to do that, and that's the problem. You have to overcome that and make yourself do that and hold the throttle down and go for it.
So you just got to use the right foot. Which of these ends you can use the right foot more, 3 and 4?
Yeah, it really is crazy how much faster 3 and 4 is than it was before. 1 and 2, they made a lot of changes down there, and still haven't figured my way out down there. It's so weird getting off into 1. You're like, I think I'm right. Missed it. Do over, and it is tricky getting through 1 and 2. It's all about the entrance there to get through the middle and get pointed for that run.
Well, Kelly, there you have it. You just got to use that right foot more than the left foot to go faster in Texas.
Yeah, why do I get the feeling it's not quite that simple, Parker? Well, if pit road's feeling a little bit sparse, that's because we have a number of cars back here in the garage area still going through inspection, and including a couple of the playoff drivers. Behind me, you'll see Martin Truex Jr., his 78 car that still needs to go through another time. Hey, Matt Kenseth. Inside the building, both the 48 and 24 Hendrick Motorsports cars of Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson, they're still waiting to go through too. I've seen both those drivers hanging out inside that tech area. They're waiting for their cars to get cleared. It was kind of funny. I was asking Alan Gustafson, crew chief on the 24, how long it takes to go through the inspection process, and he said that's kind of like asking how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, Rick.
Well, that's a good analogy there. Steve, I do want to ask you, when did inspection open for these drivers? I mean, they had their first practice. When can they start to go through inspection?
Well, they can go in as soon as practice ends, but they're required to be in inspection an hour after first practice. So this process takes a while, and I've yet to confirm this with NASCAR, but I would assume all of these cars are going through for the second time. There's definitely enough time to push everybody through once. Where trouble begins is when cars fail the first time and have to go back through inspection. And now NASCAR makes you go back through the entire process, so the line stacks up even more.
Jeff, we heard Clint just talking about the differences in this racetrack, and 1 and 2 has been the big change. So how do you now attack more or less a new racetrack? Because 1 and 2 is completely different from 3 and 4.
Well, first of all, the reason it's different is because the racetrack reconfigured, and when they did it, this is what they did. They took banking out of turns 1 and 2. So the 2016 fall race, 175 mile an hour. in 1 and 2, right in the middle of the corner, and now 155 miles an hour, 20 miles per hour difference, and that's all because of the amount of banking that they took out of it. But when they did it, what they did was they made the racetrack wider. So when Clint Boyer said, I have a hard time finding my way through here, that's part of the reason. Because the racetrack is so much wider, to take banking away from it, they essentially had to go from the bottom of the outside wall all the way down, taking banking out. So the apron got very, very short. But now when you enter turn 1, it is crazy wide. It's more racetrack there than I think I've ever seen in a mile and a half. And I think just picking out your point of reference and where do you put the car, that's much harder on a wide racetrack.
Parker, I believe you have caught up with a driver who is guaranteed a spot in the championship 4.
That is Kyle Busch, the most recent winner in the Cup Series, winning at Martinsville last week. And Kyle, Clint Boyer gave me some really expert advice about getting around here. He said you got to use your right foot more than your left foot. But we were just talking about how maybe down in 1 and 2 you might have to use that brake here in qualifying.
You certainly got to use some brake, that's for sure. But trying to find that magic touch of how much is certainly the key. And being able to carry maximum speed that you can through the flatter corner, because you know you're going to be able to carry about whatever you can give it down in 3 and 4. So this place has certainly changed, and it's different. It's now kind of it's unique racetrack, and you look at it from the $40,000 view, and as the crow flies, and it looks identical to many of the other mile and a halves. But when you get down and on the ground and you try to push that right pedal down, sometimes you got to figure out how hard to hold it down.
Guys, he was 8th fastest in practice. Hope to find a little speed in that 18 car to challenge for the pole.
All right, so we've talked a lot about turns 1 and 2. Let's dive a little deeper into that.
Well, we have some great animation to really show exactly what the racetrack did. So, this 2017 repave, the track used to be 24 degrees. Now it's 20 degrees. So taking 2 degrees of banking out of the racetrack took a tremendous amount of speed away from it.
Yeah, well, and to get that 4 degrees out of the racetrack, how did they do it? You mentioned it. They did it by widening the surface and narrowing the apron. So we're from 58 feet to a 78-foot racing surface. The apron got much narrower. And it's just, 78 feet is a very, very wide racetrack, especially for a mile and a half. So just the look as you approach turn 1 is totally different than anything these drivers have seen before.
And I think, too, you heard Clint Boyer say how much faster 3 and 4 is than it used to be. Well, it is no faster than it used to be. Like, if you look at the numbers, it's really no faster. The difference is that you're going so much slower in 1 and 2 that now, if you think about it, you're not carrying as much speed down the back straightaway, because 1 and 2 is slow. So now for the driver, he knows the percentage of throttle that he had versus what he used to have. And the reason he has more throttle is because he's not going as quick into turn 1 as into turn 3 as he used to be. So you can drive in deeper. Now you have all that banking that you don't have down there. You can get in the gas sooner. So it's just huge difference between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Well, and the radius. The track's so wide, Rick, that you don't follow the radius of the corner or the dotted lines. I can see how a driver kind of gets lost. Right there, you see you got to turn across 2 dotted lines. We're heading into turn 3, you kind of almost follow the lines.
When we come back, it's time for Cars on the Track. This qualifying session gets underway.